from the point of view that not every client that comes into your salon you're going to be able to put a tip on, and not every client that comes into your salon you're going to be able to sculpt on. And if you don't give them those basic skills, then I don't think you're giving them proper, thorough beginner training, and that's what students deserve.
I think, can I just add there, I think as well as what we all haven't really touched on is the fact that what do the clients want? If a client came in and said we want something, as a professional we've got to be able to offer everything that that customer wants. That's, I think, the most important thing.
Well, then on that note, I mean, basically you go in to become a nail professional, about 5 years later, come out the other side and be able to start working. I think that there are elements that you need to be able to master as a professional, and to Denise's point, you know, build on those skills to become a better, well-rounded nail professional, but at the same time, make it commercial in the sense that, you know, you can focus and start to put some of those skills to use while you develop additional skills, whether it's another system or maybe it is, you know, sculpting. I don't know. I mean, there's a thousand different ways to become a professional out there. There's 1,000 different systems out there. There's 1,000 different education systems out there. You know, choose the one that's going to work best for you. There.
I'd like to ask a question now, first of the panel and then of the audience. How the debate has just gone now about a full service nail professional, which means that you can basically do everything and with enough experience in everything, I'd like to ask the panel and then the audience, how long do you think that takes? How long do you think it takes to be able to learn everything and to be a true professional? Somebody?
I think a lot of that could possibly depend on the individual. Do you think some people learn quicker than others? And also my own experiences, some people work harder at it than others. We say that training-wise, to go from nothing to go through manicure, pedicure, and then all your enhancement systems should take you in the region of 4 months. However, the reality of it is, if you go to college, it will probably take you 2 years to do that. So, you know, it's one of those, how long is a piece of string, and how much work also you pack into your courses. I know, like, if you go into college, there might be 20, 25 students in a class. If you go to private training schools, there might only be 4, 5, 6 students in a class, and obviously your days are longer and you get more personal attention. But you know, I think we all end up with a qualification, and that really is where we all start learning. But once you've earned that qualification and you're out in the big wide world, that's when I think your education really does begin. So that's my answer.
I don't think you should really put a time scale on knowing everything. I think even now, after the amount of years that I suppose all of us can sit here and talk about the nail industry, we never know everything. I still learn every day in the nail industry. Every nail show I come to, I learn something. And that's what keeps it alive, being able to learn new things all the time. So there is no time scale on it, in my opinion.
I agree. No, I mean, to Claire's point, I mean, that's what I love about this industry. You know, it doesn't stop. Every year I evolve that much more, and I think become that much more of a professional. So, but I mean, what we're really asking is, you know, how long before somebody should be released on Joe Public? But, you know, we've got people who go to college for 2 years straight and come out, and I still wouldn't let them on one of my clients. You know, I have people that have done a week-long course, and for what they've done it at, I would totally let them off, you know, working in the salon. It is individualistic. It's not something that you can set in stone. It's something that takes mentoring and guidance and time.
I agree with that as well. With the MVQ, it's like building blocks, and I think everyone's trying to sell, like, you know, the perfect qualification, and you need to do this, this, and this. But what you've got to remember is when you do an MVQ, it's set to the certain criteria. If you do that criteria, for say your portfolio, if you did level 2, you've done 1/3 of level 3 already. We don't make you repeat that. And I think people get a bit scared by seeing how much they've got to cover and think of a cost value to that, rather than breaking it down into individual bits. Because if you've done your level 2, you will pick up a new system a lot quicker than what you did the first time, because your skills and techniques are a lot better. So yes, you might look at it and say it might take you 2 years, but it might take you 6 months, depending on what skill factor you've got. And I think people look at it and think, oh my God, I've got all this work to do, rather than actually looking at it and what is required of you and building it up bit by bit. And I think when people are selling the NVQ for standards and qualifications, they don't break it down into commercially English that we can just understand and say, oh, so if I've done that, I don't need to do that. Or, do you understand what I mean by that? If you've actually got your level 2 and if you're good at doing your acrylics, and then you take on a gel system, you've done your filing techniques, you've done your finishing techniques, you've done your tip application already. So you fast forward through that bit, and then it won't take as long. So I think you all need to think about getting qualified, but actually think of the best way around to do that.
Yeah, I think the question's been answered really with regards to how long does it take to actually be a good nail technician, and it is down to individual talent as well, and whether it comes naturally or whether you have to really work at it. Some people might take just 3 or 4 months. Some people will take a year or 2 years to actually get to grips with it, because it takes a lot of practice for that person. But I think the most important point is that education goes on forever. I've been teaching for 16 years, and for me, education on a personal note is important for me, to go and learn and to watch everybody on the stands at the exhibitions, and to continuously take courses for myself. So I think that's probably the most important thing, is it's continuous.
Does anybody in the audience have an opinion on how long that piece of string is? No, I haven't got anything to say.
I think probably what we're saying here is, when is a person proficient and when is a person professional? I've been in the business over 27 years, and I've had people come to me being nail technicians for 10 years, but I wouldn't employ them because they aren't professional. They haven't got the right attitude. So apart from learning your techniques in the nails, it's important to have that mental attitude, how to be in a service industry. And coming from, say, my beauty industry, which started with manicure first, in the salon, I can say to somebody, if someone comes to me and says, what do you think I need? They're going to trust my experience. And from a manicure perspective, I can say to that person, actually, you don't need false nails. You can nurture your nails with these products. Maybe I'm not going to spend 70 quid on false nails and be able to spend 30 quid on a manicure, but in the long run, they recommend people to me. Now, if I was just coming from a basic false nail industry, my idea is to make money on false nails. So that person will come to me and say, what do you think I need? I'm automatically, using my bread and butter, I'm going to say, well, actually, you need a set. So they're going straight into that limited mindset. So just encouraging you to do the manicure and the pedicure and also the false nails, so you get a more rounded vision of what your client needs. Sometimes, as you say, you've got to know what your client wants. I know a client will come into me with a very, and I'll say it, in my years of working in the nail business and beauty business, every single person that's come to me with a bad nail condition has come from the nail file, the electric file. They've always had the electric file nail system. And I'll say, well, actually, you may want a full set of false nails, but really, we're not going to do it. This is what I'm going to suggest to you, and in the long term, 6 months later, you'll be glad I gave you that advice. They may say, well, actually, I'm going to go around the corner, and they will give me false nails. So professionalism and proficiency are totally two different things, but that's probably why I'm still here after 27 years. Got the nail bars will open and close after 5 or 6 years.
Thank you. I'm afraid nobody up here heard that. So none of us can really answer what you said. We've got no speakers coming this way. Okay, I think we're all probably singing off the same hymn book with this one. I don't think there are too many dissensions, so I'll move on to the next, if that's okay. And the next one is, my back doesn't give out from leaning over to this microphone. Should MMA be banned in the UK for use in nail enhancements? And I know Georgie wanted to say a few words on this.
That is a difficult question, and I think it's going to open a whole can of worms, because people have got so many different opinions about what MMA does and what they think it does. But I do think it should be banned because of it's what me and Marion were talking about earlier, is that it's inappropriate to use MMA on the natural nail. And certainly think that the audience should get involved with this, and we should get some opinions and see what people think of it.